In the traditional teachings of our people, when we began to receive the European influence after 1492, one of the things that came about with the contact with the Spaniards after 1520 and then down for over 300 years, that our Dene had a undeclared running war or conflict with the Spaniards during all that time. And this contact, of course, enabled our people to acquire certain things. And one of those things is called peso, which is money or currency. And the idea that our people had to learn how to understand the value of metal. The way that they had been doing in the past was just trading. So it would be even herbs and plants and food and other items were trade items. Even certain types of clay and certain types of stones and so on were trade items. So there were many different things to offer as trade, the fur of animals and so on, and tanned hide. But with the arrival of the Spaniards came a whole different value that was placed on metal coins. And the Dene, in our oral history, and even in our ceremonial songs and prayers and that, there is mention, people dressing up in armor made of gold or brass and white metal, and also the yellow or the blue metal, then finally the black metal. But today, when we look at the metals and that are mentioned in these ceremonial songs, we can kind of see that gold or brass is the yellow metal, and the white metal would be the silver, and then the blue metal is copper, and the black metal is iron. So the Dene, way in their past history, and they don't even give a date, but they say that is mentioned in the songs and prayers, ceremonial songs, and that are very ancient. But the arrival of the Spaniards reintroduced the Dene knowledge of these metals and how to work with some of these metals. Now, when the Dene were in contact with the Spaniards, it was not on friendly terms. And for over 300 years, that situation existed where the Dene would raid the Spanish settlements, and the Spaniards would do the same, and they would carry off women and children. Our people would adopt the women and children into clan families. But the Spaniards, in most cases, made slaves of any of the captives that they took from the different tribes, especially the Dene. And the Navajo or the Spaniard clan came into existence with our people, but with the Dene, they forced them to work in mines and other places where they would work them as slaves. And so they tried to force the Dene how to dig up the ore and to process it into the various metals of silver and gold. And they didn't appreciate that because it's taking from Mother Earth and robbing her. And that was not the ways of our people. And it goes on to say that the Dene learned how to picked up the knowledge of working with the different metals and that from the Spaniards, but it was something that was reintroduced. It was the knowledge that our people had previously, but it had been lost, and they regained it with the contact with the Spaniards. The other thing I might mention is that our Dene picked up the Spanish language as an additional language to know. And so many of our Dene spoke Spanish as an additional language. And so we have the name for money today, peso. Besh is the first part, which means metal, and then the second part is probably applying to the Spanish type of word peso. And so even the way we count money, we count the money, a dollar bill, for example. You know, we have the old count of 2 bits, 4 bits, 6 bits, and a dollar. In our traditional way of counting money, a quarter or 25 cents would be nakiyan, 50 cents would be diyan, hastayan would be 75 cents, and then uh, tatay peso, which means one whole dollar, and in Espanol, then it would be un dollar. But it was that our people, even when they referred to the people that had a lot of wealth, they would call them rico, and which would mean that they were a person of wealth. But in our language, any type of wealth previous to the arrival of the Spaniards was called yote. But later on, yote became the things that the Dene learned how to make. They would take the silver coins that they would acquire from raids and that to the Spanish settlements and melt them down into jewelry. They would make such things as concho belts and necklaces and bracelets and other trinkets, and they became trade items. And so they became a part of yote, or wealth. The other thing is the livestock that they took from these raids and that. Eventually these herds of sheep and horses and such would be in great numbers, and that was wealth. And so those people that had that great wealth, known as Rico, many times they were the leaders of the people of the Dene. So our progression to the understanding of how money, peso and yote, are very much a necessary part of the economy in some ways. And I have to mention the economy because the livestock ownership among the Dene, even into the 1900s, was very important to our people. Livestock would be the sheep, mostly sheep herds, but because they had thousands of head of sheep, they overgrazed the land. And the federal government at that time decided to solve the problem, and it was not a very good way that they did it, because what they did is the Indian agent known as John Collier around 1930s, he went along with a project or a program of where they would just kill about 2/3 of the herds of the Dene that had these large herds. And so they took a bunch of people in there with guns, and they would shoot animals by the hundreds and just leave them laying where they'd kill them and leave them to rot. And this, of course, was destroying the economy and also the culture, because during that time when the Dene owned a lot of these livestock, it became a part of their culture. And so much of it is the agricultural culture and animal husbandry and that type of economy that our people became very much adapt to. And so when they went and killed all of the livestock in that way, under the livestock reduction program, it was very devastating to the economy. They destroyed it. And down through the years, of course, we continue with other taking of resources, water, lands, additional lands, and uranium mining and other mining operations and that, and then the gas and oil. And a lot of times people tend to think that every Navajo gets a monthly check, but I would like to emphasize that that is not so. Our people are under the control of the federal government, because everything is held in trust for the Dene. So there's no way for our Dene really to build up any wealth. And the Dene don't own the land, they don't own the resources. It's all held in trust, and that's a government concept of solving the Indian problems, what they've been dealing with from the very beginning. And so, and amongst our people, we still have money, but so much of our people don't understand the value of money in that regard, and they don't understand, of course, how money works, how you can make money work for you. And even in our tribal government, they have a lot of money, and they could spend it on educating the Navajo people, or the Dene, as to the understanding of economics and to be able to take care of their money and to make their money grow. But that hasn't happened yet. When the medals are talked about in the ceremonial songs and prayers and the way that they are understood, it's actually mentioned as armor being worn. Is in saying my helmet is made from iron, or my breastplate is made from silver, and my shoes are made from gold. And then all the other places that would cover your body might be made from copper. and other types of metal. But it is nonetheless sang about in the ceremonial songs, and some mentioned in ceremonial prayers, and so on. But they do have direction, like the white metals. Silver would be to the direction east. The metal copper would be to the direction south, and the direction to the west would be the metal gold or brass. I have to mention that because they say beshetsuit, but in most cases it would probably be gold. And then to the north is the black metal, which would be iron. And so they do give directions in the four sacred directions, assigning the metals and that. And so it is part of the ceremonial songs and prayers. And so our old people had little value on money, but they always valued their jewelry. They wore their wealth. And turquoise jewelry, conch bells, bracelets, and to this day it is still the practice. Yote is important to our old people, is to be able to be well dressed and to have the things that say you are out there working and doing your very best. And so that when the holy people see you wearing the turquoise and the jewelry, they say, our people, our children are remembering the first world, knowing what the black metal is, and the second world, which is the blue world with the copper. And then of course this world is the brass or the yellow world, and the next world is the silver or the white world, and that's the fourth world. So the silver jewelry is symbolic of the next world, with the set stone of turquoise is a reminder and a symbol of the existence before we came into this world. So there's a lot of symbolism in the jewelry that our Dene wear today. It is their wealth, and it is also a part of the culture of our people. And the importance of having yote and understanding it in your life is what we are told. So when we pray to them and we are wearing our turquoise and our silver, they look at us and they say, there is one of our children that knows where they are from and where they are going. I will share a little bit of information about the four worlds. In our traditional teaching, everything is based on the sacred number 4. And so we have the first world, which has 4 names, Nahoshin, Nahadba, Nahatan, Ahani. Those are some of the names that are applied to the first world, which is the place where all life began. And then we have the second world, which is the blue world or turquoise world. Then the third world, which is the yellow world, which is the third world of the three-dimensional environment. And everything in this world, in the third world, is based on the sacred number 4, so that we can know how to live in the next world, which is the fourth world. And the jewelry that we wear, the turquoise and the silver, is symbolic of the worlds that are in the past and the world that is in the future. There are 4 types of metal in this world. There's the black metal, the blue metal, the yellow metal, and the white metal. And the white metal, of course, represents the fourth world, which we haven't experienced yet. And in this world, of course, we wear the jewelry of the turquoise. The turquoise is just to let the holy people know when we are addressing them that we understand our origin, which is of course from the second world before we came into this world. So when we pray to them and we are wearing our turquoise and our silver, they look at us and they say, there is one of our children that knows where they are from and where they are going. What are they asking for? Let's give it to them. And so it is that everything in our traditional teaching is based on 4. Even the 4 types of ceremonies that we have. A lot of people forget that we have Nahaga, Da, Nakai. And then there's another one that has been lost, and they call that Nashid, which would probably mean the 4 different ceremonies is walking with the holy people, sitting with the holy people, standing among the holy people, and then of course kneeling before the holy people. So those are the 4 ceremonies. And the last one that I mentioned is the one that is gone. Nobody knows it anymore.
So those are the teachings of our people, of all things being based on for and why we wear turquoise and silver. Silver being symbolic of the next world, which is the fourth world. So we have the first world, Navajo Shin, Navajo Dotlij, Navajo, Navajo, and those are the four worlds. And that means the dark world, the turquoise world, or the blue world, and then the yellow world and the white world. Those are the four worlds.
The teaching among our people concerning turquoise and jewelry is that the color blue or turquoise is very important to remind us of the existence in the second world. And that's the world before coming into this world, the turquoise world or the blue world. And it is that that existence that we lived in as spirit beings, we had to retain certain types of information. And so we still have that information, but it is that here in this life, in the third world, we have to wear the turquoise. And so the turquoise is always there to remind us that we came from a previous existence and the world of the turquoise world or the blue world. It is also that the necklace is worn to let the holy people know that we understand that we came from their presence and we are their children, their actual offspring. We call this necklace Yo, but anything of value and anything that symbolizes something sacred, we call it Yoda. Yoda is the name that is given to sometimes wealth, but I think that's misleading because it is something of value and something of sacred significance. So we wear jewelry that has turquoise in it, that might be a ring, a bracelet, earring, but the necklace has very special significance. And when we refer to it as Yor, it is thought of in a way that it is the umbilical cord symbol, in a way that it is a part of us. So when we pray, we wear jewelry that is sometime in the form of a necklace. And it is that this particular necklace that I wear has two loops down at the bottom. And these two loops symbolize the male and the female. And also the actual strands of the necklace itself has two strands as well, which is to symbolize male and female. And between each turquoise on the necklace, generally it was fashioned or made in a way that it had two shells, beads between each turquoise, symbolizing also the male and the female. But on each strand there is one part where there are four shells on the strand. And this is for a very special purpose as well, to remind us that everything in this world is based on the sacred number 4. And so there's a lot of significance to the idea of us wearing the jewelry, especially the turquoise necklace. The two strands, or the two loops down at the bottom. Right at the top there are two beads that are coral. And these coral also have a very spiritual significance as well. When you look at the rainbow, the top color of the rainbow is red. And that's very significant. We wear the red moccasin, and we use the red paint in ceremonial settings, special ceremonial settings that symbolize the journey from this world into the next world. And so the red is the red color of the top color of the rainbow. And so it is that when we journey from this existence into the next world, it is on that red path to the fourth world. This necklace was given to me by a group of people that I made a special presentation to, and rather than providing me with currency, they chose to give me a necklace. And so it was that the idea of providing me with a necklace was their gesture in thanking me. Also, I might mention that whenever anybody that was not the Neh and became a part of the Neh family, an individual that might have come from another tribe or another part of the world, when a necklace was put about their neck, they would say they adopted that person. Yopanelia is what they call that particular occasion, which is to adopt that person into their family and into their clan. Many times people talk about the protection offered by the turquoise. I think that the protection actually comes from the prayer that you make as
child of the holy people. And so it is that is the protection that they talk about, and to make sure that you wear the turquoise when you offer up your prayer. In the teaching of our people, turquoise was not something to be dug into the ground to acquire. I know that a lot of the present-day turquoise come from many of these areas where there are mining operations going on. In the history of our people, down in Morenci, Arizona, they had a time when they were first opening up that mine, and the miners had no regard for the turquoise, and of course they didn't understand the value of the turquoise, and so they removed it and regarded it as just garbage in a way. And the native people, especially the Navajos, went down there with their buckets and filled up all these buckets with these turquoise that had been pushed aside. And so it is of special significance that it was removed from the earth by someone else, and then they figured it was given to them, so they took it until the miners realized that the turquoise had great value. But as the net, we can't go digging into the ground and taking from Mother Earth what she does not give up freely for us to take. And even then, in the traditional way, the turquoise was not yours, but it was that it was put into your care. And so those are also the things that we have been told.